humans, and welcome to episode 32 of Chef Mike Does Stuff. I, of course, am Chef Mike because it says so right here on my chef coat. But more importantly, everybody knows that Quandrix is the greatest school of magic at Strixhaven. I think this is a fact. Now, as you may have just realized or just guessed, I guessed with a D or a T. I have a sponsor for this video, and that sponsor is none other than Wizards of the Coast, more importantly and more awesome, Magic the Gathering. Now, your friendly pal Chef Mike used to play Magic the Gathering a lot, like in 93 to 95 back in the day, and as a little proof, I, in my parents' basement, found a bunch of my old cards, and you can't see it, but at the bottom there, it even dates it at 1994. So I don't know if I've got a Black Lotus or anything in this deck. I'll go look through it, but even if I do, I mean, they're in great condition, but not pristine condition. Anyway, I have an awesome sponsor. This is very exciting. Thank you to everyone who's been watching my videos and sharing my videos. It's been a little bit since I made one because life, but we're back at the grind and I'm very excited for this opportunity. I am here to tell you that the Strixhaven card set is coming to Magic the Gathering Arena April 15th and everywhere else April 23rd, so make sure to look out for that. And what I did is went on their social media and their website. There's an actual test to decide which of the 5 schools of magic you would belong to at Strixhaven. Now, I took the test. I obviously passed with flying colors. I am one of the Quandrix Mages, which is obviously the best school, which thinks math is magic because you use math to manipulate our environment and to do to manipulate the elements to do our bidding for us, which is beautiful and magical. So go online and take the test to see what school you belong to. But as a faculty member, the higher-ups asked me if I could make a cake that they could slice into 24 exact equal parts, which is why I decided to do another more Bundt stuff for your enjoyment. I've got this awesome pan that's, I could use pi to factor in the diameter and the radius and other big math words. But you've seen this before. It's an awesome Bundt pan, and I can easily cut all the pieces I want that look perfect and equal. But because I'm with Quandrix now, as you know, I don't like to provide you recipes. I never do, because I want you to watch my videos and learn. But today, not only am I gonna give you like cups and teaspoons and tablespoons, I've got a handy dandy scale here, and I'm gonna give you gram weight because that is more accurate. And since we need to manipulate numbers, this way you can more appropriately replicate the Bundt at your house by weighing the ingredients if you have a scale. And yes, I know I'm talking with my hands extra because I'm very excited about this. So we are gonna do a cinnamon brown sugar Bundt, and I'm gonna use one of my favorite cinnamon crunchy cereals, both in the batter, and I'm gonna crush it up and sprinkle it on top. So look forward to that. And I think we should just get started because I'm very excited to do more Bundt stuff. First thing I'm gonna want you to do is preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Super easy. Also make sure that you have a rack that's like in the center of the oven. If you've got other racks in the oven that will block a Bundt pan from fitting inside of it, take that rack out and just leave the one like right in the middle of the oven. We want this to be perfect. All right, next step is we get our mixing bowl here. And as I stated, I'm going to weigh the things as we go. So the first thing I'm going to add to the mixing bowl, I was going to say mixer bowl. It's a mixing bowl, would be 3/4 cup of butter. This is room temperature butter. So when you preheat that oven before you start cooking, even before that, pull butter out. Let it sit out on the counter for a little bit. You want it to be nice and soft and room temperature. Doing this gives our final product a certain texture that we want. Nice, airy deliciousness. So that's what we're doing. So just do what I say and we'll be good. and I'm gonna throw that paper right over there. The next thing I'm gonna add is 1.5 cups of regular white sugar. Hey, before I forget, this is something that I always forget to do, is actually record the number. So my 3/4 cup of butter is 177.6 grams. There may be a variety of reasons why yours might be slightly different if you were to weigh the ingredients, if you were to measure the ingredients by volume, you know, your stick of butter versus my stick of butter, there may be a little bit of differences. So, sorry, you can always just do the gram weight and we'll be good there. So then I zero my scale to make sure we're being accurate here. 1.5 cups of all-purpose, it's not flour, of regular old white sugar. I'm flustered today already. I just want you to join Quandrix because it's the best school. 1 cup of sugar. 1/2 cup of sugar, which equals 327.8 grams. Now, get this in your mixer and we're gonna beat the heck out of it. Okay? We are gonna whip this for quite a while. It's actually gonna almost look like it's changing colors a little bit. We want that sugar and butter just mixed together like super good because we want that desired attribute in our Bundt. Uh-oh. What's happening here? Hey. Okay, that was really weird. Maybe some other schools are playing tricks on us. Who knows? There you go. Now that it's kind of more mixed, just go to town. It shouldn't look like big granules of stuff and little granules together. It should be a nice, even, smooth appearance. So we're gonna let that go for a little bit, and then we'll be right back. All right, the next thing we are gonna do is we're gonna add 3 eggs. What we're gonna do, I'll weigh 1 egg so we can get the gram weight of the egg, and then we add 1 at a time, and we beat it until the egg is just incorporated, the egg disappears, then we're gonna add the other one. So I'll get this rocking. One egg is 54 grams. 54 grams noted. Like so. Second egg. Third egg plus 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Which is 4.5 grams. Next is weigh up 1 cup of sour cream. And we're actually just gonna set this aside. But I had to weigh it because, you know, trying to be accurate here as I splash a bunch of sour cream on my chef coat. Let's see here. Okay, that's 230 grams. 230 grams. Put this off to the side. And I'm gonna have to watch the video to see how much vanilla extract I added because I totally forgot to write it down. Next, I like to use a non-stick pan spray that has flour in it. You could rub the inside down with butter or oil and sprinkle flour and do all that. Or you just get the can here. Make sure it gets all in there. And then what I do is I turn this upside down over my sink so that any of the splotchy areas will drip out of the Bundt pan, giving you a much more perfect cook and release. Next, in a big bowl, put in 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, which is 388.3 grams, at least on my scale. Now we're gonna do 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Let me get my teaspoon measuring out. And 1 level teaspoon of baking powder. is 4 grams. 4 grams. Noted. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Let's see here. Ooh, that's not an appropriate. I gotta level it just right. We need to be accurate here. Okay. And that is 5.4 grams. So as you can see, even though you would think both of those would weigh exactly the same, they do not, for a variety of reasons. Maybe the particulate size is bigger or smaller. Maybe there's more moisture or less moisture. Maybe the specific gravity, maybe the air incorporated into it. So many different reasons why, if you have a great scale, gram weight is a great way to be a lot more accurate. The other thing I'm going to add is, if I could open up my little container here, how much did I want to add? 1 teaspoon. We'll see how much this weighs. This will be fun. 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. 2.7 grams. Very, very interesting. Isn't it? I know you think so. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to kind of mix this in together so it's a little bit evenly incorporated. That was my scale going back to 0. Just because we want it to mix here a little bit, because if you dump it in there and one big spot has, let's say, all the cinnamon or all the baking powder or whatever it might be, your cake, your bundt might actually bake up a little lopsided or off, and we are trying to make it super awesome. But what we do now is, you got your sour cream, you got your flour, I need to get my spatula, and we're gonna do this pretty slow. Is I'm gonna add a little bit at a time. Okay, I don't know, maybe a quarter of this. I'm gonna let it do its thing, just until incorporated. I might, there, done. Then I'm gonna add, let me get a different spoon, because if I use my spatula on the sour cream, then when I put it in the flour, we're gonna have a problem. Add a big spoonful of sour cream. Like right when that looks like it's incorporated. There, that's good enough. There's a little bit out there, but that's all right. I'm not worried about that. I'm gonna keep doing this and then I'll show you what it looks like in the end. All right, so everything is now mixed appropriately. The next thing I'm going to do is fold in your favorite cinnamon crunchy type cereal. This is 3/4 cup, which is 37.4 grams. 37.4 grams. Awesome. You're just gonna fold that in. There'll be little pieces of texture, I'm hoping, in the cake. I've actually never incorporated this into my bundt cake, so we're gonna see what happens. Hopefully it turns out great. But as you know, my deal is if it doesn't turn out great, I'm gonna show it to you anyway, because that's how we roll. And I'll even like put adjustments in, like if it comes out and I try it, maybe in the video, like I do sometimes, is I'll tell you what to change, because I'm a nice guy like that. All right, so that's mixed in there, super nice. We folded in the cereal. All right. Let me get this scale out of the way. That's actually a mixer. This is the scale. Now, we've got our bundt pan. As you can see, because it dripped down, everything looks nice and even right here. What we are going to do is add half of this to the bundt pan. Now, this is kind of more dough almost than, let's say, batter. So it's going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt to get it in there. But that's okay. All right. Like so. I'll do one more scoop right there. And now if you have an extremely, I'll do a little bit more right there, pointy bundt pan like I do, you're going to want to get yourself, oh, I moved the mic. You're going to want to get yourself a towel for this next part. start stamping it down. You're going to do this for a couple reasons. First, we want it nice and level for when we put in our cinnamon sugar coming up next. But we really want to remove air pockets from the bottom, so that way when we unveil this amazing Bundt, that they'll be nice. The little pointy parts of this cool Bundt pan will look perfect. The scale is back. What I want you to do is mix a 1/4 cup of white sugar, which is 53.1 grams. Let me write that down. 53.1. I still don't remember how much vanilla. I still got to look there. And then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. Not brown sugar, of cinnamon. Duh. Nice level. Which is 7.3 grams. 7.3 grams. Do a quick little mix up here to make an awesome cinnamon sugar. You, of course, can just do this and put it on whatever you so desire. Like so. Now, let's move scales back out of the way. Now, we're going to have that little cinnamony brown sugar. Why do I keep saying brown sugar? There isn't even brown sugar in here. Here we go. Cinnamon sugar. Like so. And because it's cake and because it's going to be moist, this is going to be like an ooey gooey cinnamon brown sugar little center thing. Oh yeah. Like so. And the hardest part of this entire recipe is this part, where we have to put the rest of the batter, the rest of our Bundt cake dough almost, into this in little bloop, like so. Bloop is an appropriate culinary term. Bloop. Bloop. Make sure to scrape out the bowl so that you have an accurate, delicious Bundt cake that Quandrix would be proud of. With your schools of magic, you have to remember we are going to compete against the other schools of magic in a variety of games. And why we are the best is, of course, because we can use math and probability and statistics to determine what our competition is going to do. Guarantee you, they ain't making Bundts like this. They've got weak Bundts over at the other schools. But in the end, we're all the same team, and that's all that matters. Okay. Back at this part. As you can see, this is hard because it's not really connected to the rest of the dough, so just do your best to kind of flatten it out. And then the last little trick, so you get a spoon. Okay, back of the spoon. Push all the stuff, try to get it at least to the edges so that way it'll cook up nice and even. But another little tip is, for whatever reason, lots of cakes like to rise in the middle. And you'll notice that your cake has this little arc, this little arch when it bakes up. So it's higher in the middle and comes down. What you can do is actually push the dough or push your batter closer to the edge like that. So when it bakes, it will be flatter across the top. Now, some of you may say, hey, I'm going to slice off a layer to make it flat anyway. Cool, that works, but this will also allow you to have to cut off less because it'll be kind of more flat already. And I do not at all recommend eating this raw because there are eggs in it. So I do not recommend it. Okay. I'm going to put this on a sheet pan. I'm going to put it in the oven for about 8 minutes. Your oven is set to 400 degrees. I'm going to cook it in the oven for 8 minutes on a sheet pan, just in case anything goes over, but it shouldn't. Then I'm gonna turn it down to 350 degrees for the remainder of the cook, which should be about 40 minutes or so. You're gonna do the toothpick test. You put the toothpick in and take it out, and if it's really clean and you could even touch the toothpick and it's pretty warm, you're probably good. If you take it out and there's like battery raw stuff, or it feels like it's, you know, kind of restricts your force into the cake, that means it's probably still a little raw. You gotta let it go for a little bit more. So we're gonna see what happens in 40 minutes, and hopefully, which I know, I'm pretty sure it's gonna turn out awesome, we're gonna see what we get. So I'll see you soon. The Bundt is out of the oven. It took 8 minutes at 400 degrees. It was 45 minutes at 350 degrees. And it has rested now out of the oven for 10 minutes. And 10 minutes is the magic number, just because it's still warm enough that it's easily going to come out, but it's not too warm where it's like just gonna shred and rip apart. Like I said, I have not made this exact recipe, but since I've used math to determine how to make this, it's obviously going to be excellent. So it's been cooling out here on my red and green little heat little thingamabobbers, because red and green are obviously the best colors. What I'm gonna do first, I got this wire rack. Okay. Then I'm gonna take this like so. Upside down. Give it a little tap, tap, taparoo. And let's see what we got. Come on, Bunts! I'm dropping the pan. The pan was falling out of the thing. Out of my grip here. Oh, yeah. Success! We have success! And it's hard to see right now, but there is definitely, whoa, there's definitely a layer of that cinnamon sugar throughout. You can see it poking through right there. Now, we are gonna let this cool for, you probably wanna at least let it cool for a half hour. And while that's going on, we're gonna make a little glaze, and we're gonna crush up some of your favorite cinnamon crunchy cereal that after we glaze it, we're just gonna do some magic dust over the top. In this bowl, I have 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. I've got, which weighs 160.7 grams. And in here, I've got a 1/4 cup of whole milk. My scale is ready to weigh because I don't know how much I'm going to actually add. We're going to see what consistency I want. And actually, here's another trick so I could get that wedge, because I'm going to leave that in there. Now I zero it, so every time I weigh it, you don't want to add too much. We could always add more milk. But if you add too much milk, then it's not going to be as glazy. It's going to be too watery for what we would like. I'm certainly going to need more milk. You also need to do some math to factor in how much powdered sugar just left my bowl there. I'm going to say that's about 4 to 5 grams. Okay. That looks, I'm going to do just a touch more milk. Tiny, tiny little bit, because I want to make sure it's a nice thin glaze across our thing, our Bundt. That is 51.6 grams of whole milk, and it's probably, so an eighth, more than an eighth, so a little less than a quarter. Easy. Easy peasy. And just like that, we have a wonderful, delicious looking glaze, like so. Now, let's move scale out of way. Let's put our magically crafted, I was going to say created and crafted together, our magically crafted Bundt. We've got our bag of crushed cinnamon crunchy cereal, which I'm going to open up over here because I'm going to glaze it real quick, and then I'm going to sprinkle it with crushed cereal. Here we go. This should be
Pretty sexy. Put that right there. Here we go. Beautiful. Get it so it goes down the inside and the outside. Excellent. Excellent. And it's like just about the perfect amount. I don't want too much. Yeah. Okay. Nice. And you could just splat it on there. It's all going to, you know, thin out and look great. And now, you can be liberal with it, because I think it's going to look awesome. Classic. I'm just going to remove some of these really big pieces. I could have crushed them a little better, but just so it looks a little more even on the top. And you have officially made what I would like to call a cinnamon toast bundt. See? Because I can't. Yes, but it looks amazing. I'm going to take a fancy food shot of it, and then we're going to cut it open. I'm going to eat it, and I'm going to let you know how delicious it is. Most important part is we're going to cut it up, and we're going to eat it. So let's see what we got here. I think it turned out really good. Cinnamon Toast Bundt is a great name. I really want to see what that little cinnamon sugar layer on the inside looks like. So, to be honest, because I'm filming this, Bundt cake's still a little warmer than I'd like, but what are you going to do? Here's the reveal. Dun, dun, dun. Look at, you got a nice little layer of that cinnamon sugar stuff in there. There's some cereal bits on the inside. Glazed. Got some cereal sprinkled on the top. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Most importantly, gotta try some. What I like, too, about this Bundt pan are those little spots. The little, like, corners are all crispy, so it's delicious. Here's a little bit of that cereal. I'm going to be honest with you. Don't mix the cereal on the inside. The texture is like a little tiny chewy. It's not horrible at all. It's still delicious. But maybe some more of this cinnamon sugar stuff in the middle. Like maybe like a second layer. I mean, it's still absolutely delicious. And just like that, you're living your best Bundt life. It's that easy. You can make your own Bundt cake. What I want you to do, especially if you're trying out for, Strixhaven and want to join one of the 5 schools of magic. Now, I personally think Quandrix is, of course, the best. I'm a green and blue kind of guy myself. But this would be a great thing to offer to help entice people to make friends at the school. People would love you if you made this delicious Bundt. But what I always say with all of the Chef Mike recipes is make your own kind of Bundt. Change the flavor. Change the cereal you sprinkle on top. Do a different type of glaze. Do whatever you want. Make it your own. Post it. Make sure you tag me in it and all that fun stuff. And we all can just live our best Bundt life. I want to thank Wizards of the Coast and the Magic the Gathering folks for sponsoring an episode. I mean, they are a brand that I love and I am a big fan of, so them reaching out to me was absolutely magical in itself. The Strixhaven School of Magic card set comes to Magic the Gathering Arena April 15th and everywhere else April 23rd. Thank you again to all of them. Thank you to all the fine folk out there who watch my videos. Like I said, I know there's a little bit of a delay, but please like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell. If you are a brand that has food stuff, beverage stuff, or equipment, or, make awesome games or video games or whatever it may be, feel free to reach out to me at chefmikedoesstuff@gmail.com. Make sure to tag me in all the things. I'm going to put my normal stuff right there. But once again, thank you so much, Wizards of the Coast and Magic the Gathering, for sponsoring this video and for allowing me to be a part of the Quandrix Mages, because math is magic. And that is how you get a wonderful understanding of the universe and how to manipulate it. So until next time, it's been an absolutely, I can't, this is so good, it's just boggled my mind. What I was going to say is make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and all that fun stuff, because most importantly, you do not want to miss when Chef Mike does stuff. I will see you next time. Bye. Make Bundt stuff. All the Bundt stuff. Live your best Bundt life. You know, the cereal isn't bad. Like, maybe it was that one bite that wasn't, like, hydrated enough. Hear that crunch? I bet you can.